Welcome. As you are aware, RUSD is phasing in integrated mathematics courses in this 2014-2015 school year at the high school level and phasing out the traditional pathway courses. At the same time, the California state standards in mathematics have changed and are now the Common Core state standards. This presentation is meant to explain the bridge between 97 standards and Common Core standards in phasing out the traditional pathway courses, namely Geometry and Algebra 2. While this video explains with visuals the bridge for Algebra 2, all resources explained in this video also exist for Geometry. Our session will include a video called The Power of Belief, a haiku tour of RUSD Algebra 2 webpage, and an introduction to the bridge standards for this 2014-2015 school year. First, we begin with a video. Pause the current video you're in and go to Haiku and watch the Power of Belief video. There is a link to the video on the Haiku page where you found my video, the one you're currently watching, about the bridge standards. This Power of Belief video is approximately 11 minutes in length, and feel free to take notes. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're doing this presentation as a group, pause and discuss these 3 questions about the video, The Power of Belief. If you're watching this alone, write a reflection and possibly find someone to discuss this video. Find somebody that you can discuss this video with when you have a moment. Now let's take a look at Haiku. The Haiku Portico allows you to sign up for all mathematics courses. While there, select the bridge standards class you want to add, whether it be Geometry or Algebra 2, and type in the code, and you'll be added to the Haiku Geometry or Haiku Algebra 2 course website. If you can't find the Haiku Portico, this Google presentation and all the slides are on the Haiku webpage, so you can find the above link in the presentation as well. Once you've added yourself to the Haiku website, select the RUSD Algebra 2 course. The title is listed up here. A few things to note about this Haiku website. This website, Algebra 2, will become the Math 3 page once we are finished developing the course this next year. So this website will be renamed into Math 3 in the 2015-2016 year. Currently, right now, it only has the bridge standards, but as the year progresses, our staff developers and our site coaches will be adding resources for topics that aren't included in the text. For example, in both the Geometry and the Algebra 2 class, there is a portion of statistics that just does not exist in our Holt textbook and will need supplemental material. Another thing to note is while we have listed the bridge standards here, the bridge standards are not necessarily implying a pacing. So we've simply aligned the standards to the textbook and then leave it at site decision to decide how to add those standards, to organize those chapters in the textbook to meet the pacing and the needs of their students and their school sites. If I scroll down to the bottom, all the way down past all the bridge standards, there is a feedback form. This feedback form will be checked periodically throughout the semester and will help guide the curriculum development that is taking place in all the mathematics courses. So please feel free to use this feedback form, and groups will be meeting on a regular basis, about quarterly, to review these feedback forms. Alright, let's delve a little bit deeper into the bridge standards themselves. A few things to point out. Make sure for the rest of the presentation you'll want to have a hard copy of the bridge standards. They are in the Haiku class. or as a link on the same haiku page you found this presentation. Pause the presentation if you don't have a hard copy of the bridge standards and return when you have them. The first thing to note is the document is laid out according to textbook chapters in the first column. Next, the second and third columns align the Common Core standards, which are in column 2, with the matching 97 standards, which are in column 3. While the columns in 2 and 3 deal with the same topics and content, the verbiage has changed in the Common Core standards. The change in verbiage points to the instructional shifts of Common Core, and we'll have an activity to do that in a few slides. The next thing, the last column, shows the deleted 97 standards that we are no longer obligated to teach according to the Common Core state standards. So they've been removed out of the Year of Algebra 2's standards. It also shows the added standards that are now in Common Core Algebra 2 that do not align to any previous 97 standards. As can happen, there have been a few chapters that have been deleted from Geometry and Algebra 2. If there were no Common Core standards that pointed to those chapters anymore, they are deleted, similar to Chapter 4 up here. If you'll note in column 2 and 3, there are no old 97 standards that match, and no that match to any new Common Core state standards in columns 2 and 3. Also in the third column, there has been the 97 standard 2.0 that's been deleted, and no additional standards have been added. So in a sense, we've deleted everything from Chapter 4 out of the state standards for Common Core, and nothing has been added, so it becomes a chapter that we no longer have in our curriculum. Likewise, some chapters have been created, as there was nothing old that matched the new Common Core standards for the entire unit. For example, here we've got Chapter 11 and the probability and statistics. We have deleted some topics and added some new standards that they are not exactly aligned to how we did probability and statistics in Algebra 2 and the 97 standards, but they are the new Common Core standards for that chapter. The remaining few slides are activities that teachers did to familiarize themselves even more with the bridge standards during the August 19th and 20th professional development presentations. You feel free to continue in the video to enjoy those activities. Now let's take a moment to read the standards. Take 10 minutes to read and mark up your hard copies of the standards. Put a check mark if you feel you knew this before. Put an exclamation point if you feel it is a new topic to you. Put a question mark if you're not sure what it means. Take 10 minutes to do this. You can pause the video while you're doing that, and then when you're done, discuss with a colleague or your department chair at your Common Core or your Common Core coach about the ones you had questions on. After marking up the text, now we want to reflect on things that have been added and deleted. So take a moment to write what topics you feel have been added to the course and what topics have been deleted from your course. Discuss with someone in your department the shifts for Algebra 2 and Geometry during these bridge standard years. Lastly, another reflection question. With a partner, focus on one chapter that has parallel standards in Common Core and 1997. That would mean there were standards in columns 2 and 3 that are closely aligned between 97 standards and Common Core. You're going to take 7 minutes to discuss with your partner how could your instruction change to reflect the language of the Common Core standards on the topic? So this is talking about that verbiage we're saying, in that the standards from 1997 are switching and they have a new verbiage to them. They're still talking about the same topics, but our shift and focus on those topics has changed to match the Common Core standards. So how would your instruction in those topics change? You're going to work 7 minutes with a partner, and then you're going to share out with a group. If you are watching this not as a group, then I would suggest having you meet up with a department chair, your department, or your mathematics Common Core coach. In closing, you may have parking lot questions that we have not answered yet during this session. Feel free to use the resources that you have at your disposal. The human resources that we have your department chair would be a great person to ask, or your Common Core mathematics site coach at your school site. Great people who could answer your questions very easily. Then we also have 2 staff developers this year, 2014-2015, Kara Gilman and Sarah Luanga. Feel free to send them a phone call or an email with your questions that you have. And you can also email the Instructional Services Specialist for 712 Mathematics, Teresa Butler, and she can get back to your responses as well. So you've got all of those people there helping to answer any parking lot questions that you still have. Thank you.